Hello and welcome to this Christmas tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to make a Christmas friendship bracelet, and this time I will make a chevron bracelet. In order to begin the bracelet I need some yarn. So these yarns are about 70 to 75 centimeters long, that is about 28 inches long. And as you can see here we have a loop, and let's begin by making the loop. I will grab the yarns at the beginning and the end of my loop, so my loop should be at least this long, and I will start twisting the yarns this way on the portion that I want to be turned into my loop, bracelet loop. And now I will superpose the two ends of my loop like this. I will let go, and as you can see my yarns will twist this way, one around the other. And at the basis of this loop I will make a knot this way. So this is my loop. Now I will take the clamp and grab the yarns and I will order the yarns. So I will put the red yarns on the outside, then I will put in the middle the white yarns, and here on the inside I will put the green yarns. In order to create a chevron bracelet, the order of my colors will be in the mirror. So what we have on the left side will mirror the colors, the order of the colors that we have on the right side. So we have red on the outside, then white, and here in the middle the green yarns. And in order to create the chevrons, the yarns on the left side will be knotted using the forward knot, whereas on the right side I will make only backward knots. And when I get to this place here in the middle, I can do either forward or backward knots, or a mixture of forward knot and backward knot, or backward knot and forward knot. So in the middle you have the freedom to choose what kind of knots you want to make. And let's begin now with the creation of the Christmas bracelet, chevron bracelet. I will begin, as I said, with the forward knots on the left side. So left side forward knots, right side backward knots. I will begin with the forward knots on the left side, and in order to make a forward knot I will create the shape of the number 4 like this. Then I will put my finger under the white yarn, grab with my nail the red yarn, take the red yarn out through the loop and tighten the knot like this. So I have made the first knot, and I will make 2 knots on each yarn. So I will make another forward knot on the same yarn. So all the knots are double knots, not a simple knot, but 2 knots on each yarn. I will take the green yarn and again make a forward knot. I create the number 4 like this. I grab the yarn like this, take it out through the loop and make 1 forward knot and the second forward knot. And as you can see, my red yarn has moved forward by making forward knots from this place here to the middle here. So the yarn went forward by making forward knots. So forward in this direction, towards the right. Now I have brought the red yarn to the middle, and let's go to the right side. Here I will make backward knots. What is a backward knot? I will create the number 4 but in the mirror. I will put my finger under the white yarn, grab with my nail the red yarn, take the red yarn out through this loop and tighten the backward knot. And again I make the second backward knot, and I have created the 2 knots, backward knots on the white yarn. I will make 2 backward knots on the green yarn, so 1 backward knot and another backward knot, and my red yarn has moved backward from the right side here. It moved backward in this direction and it is now in the middle like this. So backward knots move the yarn backwards to the left, whereas the forward knots move the yarn forward to the right. And now, as you can see, our yarns are no longer on the outside here, they are in the middle here. And as I explained to you initially, when we have those yarns in the middle here, we can make any type of knots we like. We can make 2 forward knots, 2 backward knots, or a combination, a forward and a backward knot, or a backward and a forward knot. So let's make 2 forward knots. So the number 4, 1 forward knot, and the second forward knot, like this. And let's see from a closer distance. Now we have created the first chevron, the red chevron. Now, as you can see, on the sides, we no longer have the red yarns, we have the white yarns, because we brought the red yarns in the middle here. So what we are going to do now is take the white yarns and follow the same steps as we did with the red yarns. So let's make forward knots on the left side, so 2 knots on each yarn, so 1 and 2 forward knots on the green yarn, 1 and 2 forward knots on the red yarn, and my white yarn has moved forward, so towards the right, and is now in the middle. Now let's use the white yarn to make backward knots. So I'll make 1 backward knot and 2 backward knots on the green yarn, 1 backward knot and 2 backward knots on the red yarn. And here we have the white yarns, and I'll make 1 forward knot and a second forward knot. And let's see what we have created now. So as you can see, we have a white chevron. And let's repeat the same steps with the green yarns that we have now on the sides. So as you can see, my white yarns have also moved from the sides to the middle. Now let's do the 2 forward knots, 1 forward knot, the second forward knot with the green yarn on the red yarn, 1 forward knot, 2 forward knots on the white yarn, and my green yarn has moved forward from the outside to the inside. Now let's take the green yarn and make the backward knots. So the shape of the number 4 in the mirror, and I will make 1 backward knot and the second backward knot on the red yarn, 1 backward knot and the second backward knot on the white yarn. I have brought the green yarn backwards from the outside to the inside here, so it went backwards to the left, and we have the 2 green yarns in the middle, and we make 1 forward knot and a second forward knot. And as you can see, I have also created the third chevron, the green chevron, for the Christmas pattern. So we have red, white and green for the Christmas pattern. So as you can see, I have created these 3 chevrons, and the next chevrons will also be a red chevron, so the way they will follow one after the other, these 3 colors, red, white and green. And we shall continue making these chevrons in this order until I obtain the desired length of the bracelet. And then I will show you how to create the bracelet tie. So there are many ways how you can create a bracelet tie. I will choose one of those options for the bracelet tie, and I will show you how to make the tie. Another aspect that I forgot to mention is that whenever you work with those yarns, you must be always careful not to mix the yarns, not to put them in the wrong order, because the design of your bracelet will be modified if you change by mistake the order of your yarns. So always be careful to have your yarns put in the right order. So let's continue making the chevrons until we finish the bracelet, and then I shall create the bracelet tie. And now that I have finished the bracelet, I will create the bracelet tie. So I will take those yarns and I will start braiding. I will separate the yarns like this, and I will take the red yarn and from the left side and put it here on the inside on the right side. I will take the other, the right yarn from the right, from the outside from here, and put it on the inside here and cross it with the other red yarn. Now I will take the white yarn and put it on the inside here, take the other white yarn and cross it with the first white yarn. Now I will take the green yarn and put it on the inside, take the other green yarn and put it and cross it here on the inside. Now I will put the red yarn again on the inside and cross it with the other yarn like this, and I will continue braiding the yarns this way, and then I will make a knot at the end of my tie. And now I will make a knot I will cut the yarns, and now let's see what the bracelet looks like. I will open the loop. I'll open the twisted part of the loop. And I will put the tie through the loop like this. As you can see, the loop will twist back, and this is the finished Christmas bracelet. And this is what the bracelet looks like.